Hi, I'm out here in my backyard this morning, and I'm actually going to show you how to grow some of these beautiful hydrangeas from clippings, which is a very low cost, inexpensive way to increase the number of plants you have. This can not only be done on hydrangeas, but really almost any type of plant that you might have either in your yard, you might see at a Home Depot or Lowe's, or if you have a neighbor or a friend who has a plant that you just absolutely adore and you'd love to have it in your yard, this is a great way to get that plant in your yard for literally nothing. So it's very easy. In this case, we're going to be taking the hydrangea and doing some clippings from that. So here I have a number of hydrangeas that this is their second growing season. And you can see on a hydrangea there are two different types of growth. So there is growth on a old stem, which in this case you can see is the harder stem. It's a little bit darker. And then there is growth that's new, which is bright green and has not become hardened or brown at this point. So we are actually going to clip from this green, bright green new growth. And basically what you do is just very easy. Before the hydrangea blooms or after it blooms, you're going to go into that new growth and just clip. And normally what I do is I go a little ways down the plant and I will clip just above one of the rows of leaves so that I've got a nice inch or so stem here that will actually go into the ground. So I've already done that for us this morning, and you can see here I've got some clippings from one of the other bushes that I have in my yard, and you can see that I clipped just between these two growths of leaves here, and I've already clipped off this bottom row here so we can get started on the planting. The next thing you want to do is get you some potting soil in a pot. In this case, I chose a really cute terracotta pot because I think I'm going to give this as a gift to one of my friends who's been wanting a hydrangea plant. So I took some soil, put it in a pot. It's very important that you make sure before you plant that the potting soil is really wet. You want to make sure that it's wet all the way down to the bottom, that you just haven't gotten the top of the soil damp, because the bottom of the stem is going to go pretty low down into the pot, and you just want to make sure that it's getting enough water so that it can establish some healthy roots. So again, we've got this clipping. We've clipped off the bottom row of leaves. You can see this is a few inches long, which is nice for this particular pot. And I'm just going to insert it into the soil like this. And in this case, I want to make a bushy plant. I could actually leave this one stem in here and it would be fine. Once it starts growing, they'll get additional shoots probably next season. But I want it to go ahead and look bushy this season because I plan on giving this to my friend in a few weeks. And so what I've done is I've got a couple of more shoots here that I've cut, and I'm just going to stick them in the soil in a little nice arrangement here. And then all I'm going to do is tap the soil or press the soil down around it to make sure that the plant is stable and secure. Now, the next thing I'll do is for the next couple of weeks, I'm going to sit this plant in a shady area because this is going to shock the plant. This whole cutting and planting process will shock the plant. So don't be nervous or think that something's wrong if the plant starts to wilt, or even if some of the leaves start to yellow a little bit around the bottom. That's perfectly fine. The plant will recover from that. What you want to make sure you do is over those 2 weeks and during the growing season is make sure that the soil stays damp. That is going to allow the plant to establish those roots and be healthy. So again, sit this in a shady area for about 2 weeks. Make sure that the soil is damp or stays damp. And then at the end of that 2 weeks, the plant should have underneath the soil started establishing some roots. And you can actually reintroduce it to some sunshine, or in this case with the hydrangea, it's semi-shade or semi-sun or partial sun. You don't want to sit it out in the sun, say like at 12 o'clock when it's bright and shiny, because that will do damage to the plant. Just again, reintroduce it a couple hours a day, make sure that it's got plenty of water, and you should have a beautiful, healthy plant that you can either give to a friend or keep yourself on the patio, or transplant it in your yard eventually. And then you can have some nice blooms such as these. So I hope you found this helpful. Check out some of the other information I've got on www.seasiderita.com. I'm also on Instagram and Facebook and Pinterest, so check me out. Thanks.